that. So, welcome to the Acceptable Accuracy Podcast. I'm guest host Kyle. Joined with me are the other two main hosts.
Hi.
Not used to going second, I see.
No, this is really confusing. But yeah, of course, we have our ghost hosting us today. So actually, exactly, Kyle is going to be leading this episode. He's going to ask us all the questions, even though he's the one who did significantly better than both of us.
I didn't sign up for any of that.
Oh man! Before we start, I am, I guess, main host 1, and then we're also joined by
main host 2. I guess it's what is this, like thing 1 and thing 2 from Doctor
kind of
Seuss?
is. Every time we introduce it, I want to say thing 1, thing 2. So,
well, I have new nicknames for you guys now.
Oh my goodness! Thanks for that.
Oh man!
But either way, so of course, welcome to another episode of Acceptable Accuracy. Today, we actually are going to be reviewing what a very recent competition that we just did that we've actually talked about before. So, Kyle, what are we talking about today?
So we're back on the zombie train. It's that time of year, spooky season. So all gun-related things must coincide.
Oh my goodness! I didn't. Not gonna lie, it never clicked in my brain that it's zombie season and Halloween.
Of course.
It never clicked in my brain.
If you could see my face right now, it would be.
I literally face palmed,
drenched in disappointment. Drenched, Tyler.
This makes me think of that one USPSA episode that we had with Paul and Thomas, where they're talking about like all the deep details about USPSA, and halfway through they just asked me, "It's like, Tyler, do you even care about any of this stuff?" I'm like, "Bro, I just show up and I shoot. That's all I care about.
I don't know what any of this stuff does.
I just know how to do it."
Why am I here?
It's like that. Have you guys seen that Olympic sports of like curling at the Olympics? It's like, have you guys seen the
curling's
meme?
Dope.
Well, it's like the meme of like, if you look at curling and all the competitors, it's like a bunch of random dads who just got together and just somehow got into the Olympics.
Kind of like how the U.S. beat what was it, Pakistan in cricket.
Wait, what?
That's crazy.
The U.S. beat Pakistan in cricket, and they were like ranked 3rd in the nation or 3rd in the world for cricket, and a bunch of like suburban dads learned how to play cricket and like ended up getting like really highly placed in this like
That's
the whole
insane.
World Series of cricket or whatever.
That blows my mind. I know that's not what we're talking about today. When we're done, we'll have to do like the post show and unwrap that very briefly. Because like most of the other world loves cricket, like especially in like India, Pakistan, like Europe region. So that's an achievement and a half.
Yeah. USA.
Anyway,
USA.
Yeah, USA. What is, Tyler, since you're so great at unpacking this whole thing, what is the Zombie Invitational?
So the Zombie Invitational is an event that occurs in October around Halloween, which is why it's zombie themed, apparently. I didn't know that, but now I do. But essentially, it's a modified 3-gun competition. For those who have either are new listeners or didn't listen to our last episode a year ago about the Zombie Invitational, like I said, it's a modified 3-gun competition where the first day is pistol and rifle or ARs for most shooters, and second day is pistol and shotgun. So this competition is very heavily focuses on accuracy, which is why I'm terrible at this competition, or at least not as good, because I end up going to war with these tiny little targets. But it's a super fun competition. Day 1 we had 6 stages, and day 2 we had 5 stages, and it's a competition that it's really unique because of just these fun and wild out there stage designs. And this year last year they had a 90-second par time, which essentially means you have 90 seconds, and if you go over 90 seconds you're done, like you have a hard stop, it's a ceasefire. This year was actually a 75-second par time, which unfortunately that meant stages probably weren't as kind of wacky or out there, but we definitely got through it much faster, or at least it felt like. I know I've only done this for 2 years now. I believe Kyle and Phil, you guys have experienced where 1 year you guys were shooting until like or the people were shooting till like 8 at night or something like that.
Yeah, it's not. In the past, it was not uncommon for these matches to go people to be finishing stages in the dark,
That's wild to me.
which usually ends up in them calling it and them starting again on Sunday. But sometimes it would also just mean the stage would be thrown out.
Oh, that makes sense. But okay, so
Yeah.
go
And
for it,
well,
Phil.
the other thing I want to add real quick to the Zombie Invitational, unlike most traditional 3-gun, where again, this is 2 days, rifle, pistol, we talked about it, right? And then shotgun, pistol the next. A lot of times in traditional 3-gun, you're like dumping a firearm into a barrel. In this competition, you take all of your stuff with you, which means that you're slinging either your rifle or shotgun, depending on what day it is, and then all of your ammo, your snacks, your water, all that goes with you on a backpack, typically through the stage as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
think
it just adds a different level of technicality that most 3-gunners are not used to.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember. I don't think there was a stage this year where we could take our ruck off.
There was.
Was there? I'm trying to remember.
Yes,
Which
there
one
was
was
last
it?
one.
stage.
The last stage was the only stage we could not have it with us.
The one where we all went naked through it.
Well,
Oh well. All right.
relatively speaking.
Uh-huh.
half naked.
And that's on day 2. And we'll talk
cover
more
that,
about
yep.
our next guest. Our next guest next week can talk about that, or in 2 weeks can talk about that one. But either way, so of course, like we said, that's kind of what it was all about. So Phil, why don't you actually kind of talk about what that setup looked like? Maybe talk about like the flow, the layouts, etc.
Yeah, so the match itself takes place at Echo Valley Training Center, which is out in West Virginia, and that range is becoming fairly popular because there's a lot of brutality matches that will use it, and then Moons Out, which is a night vision match, uses that same range as well. Uh, Zombies, like the cool hipster, it did it first. It was using it for quite a while. The range is basically a large playground for people that like the Second Amendment and shooting, and honestly, like even like quads and stuff, because there's paths all throughout that thing.
Wasn't it like 800 acres or something like that?
400, I
it.
think, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's in the hundreds. I'm not sure if it's quite that much, but it's a lot of land to have fun on.
Yeah, and there's the interesting thing about this is a lot of like places where you go where there's ranges and stuff. They're typically run by a board, owned by the members. Maybe owned by an individual. So some of the rules are a little bit more strict. This is a little bit more relaxed. Big boy rules, we like to call them. But they also have stages like there's a shoe house, there's a 360 bay, there's a woods bay, there's a long distance meadows bay. There's a trench network we didn't use this year, but we used last year. That's pretty cool. So there are a lot of different shooting abilities and options that you wouldn't necessarily get in the past that you have as a result of the specific location that this match takes place at. So the vibe it typically is, again, it's your chance to kind of LARP as hard as you want to. So if you want to show up fully kitted from head to toe wearing World War II memorabilia, you could. Now, most people don't. Most people will bring modern equipment. We saw a few people wearing plate carriers. I think a few people on our squad had plate carriers on. I saw a couple guys wearing helmets. You don't have to. It's not required.
Why don't you wear your helmet, Phil?
Normally, I would say it would be a good idea because I'm inclined to bump my head. But in this case, I try to wear what is traditionally like common for a match that I'm going to. So, yeah, you're welcome to wear mine next time, though, Tyler, if you want.
It doesn't even fit my head.
I was just about to comment that.
My head's not as big as yours.
You'll
Phil.
just have to grow all your hair out next time.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll grow out a mullet next year. My
Yep.
fiance would love that.
Absolutely.
So the other things to add on this real quick is the weather this year was like perfect.
It was so nice.
Some of the best we've ever had. It was
Yeah,
it was excellent.
It was like I think the high of 70, something like that. 70 something on day one. It was a little warm, and then day two was a little bit cooler because the breeze picked up a little bit. But you really can't ask for a better match day any time of the year, because sometimes like this match, like Kyle can attest to, in the past has been super cold. And then the last couple of years have been pretty good. We didn't get rained on either, which was awesome. There was some threat of that, but no, we got pretty lucky from a weather perspective.
Which it is a rain or shine match, so
that is true. So, Kyle, I'm actually, if you don't mind, talking about kind of like what the overall vibe is a little bit, since you've done this match more than the rest of us. Kind of like, what are the competitors like? What is the staff like? And what is typically the energy of this match?
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely like a unique match that you don't get in other really the national shooting disciplines, especially with like USPSA multi-gun, three-gun nation, stuff like that. Um, it's a very much more of a like big boy rules, like you said, having more like accountability and honor system when it comes to certain like gear setups and things like that. Very much kind of a spirit of the game mentality. Uh, I will say you probably want to have a little bit of thick skin sometimes because some of the stuff can seem unfair or uh, you can be berated by some of the ROs if you have too many stupid questions or things like that. But it's all in good fun. Everybody's goal is really to give you a unique experience that you're not really going to find at other matches.
For sure.
The the whole setup of it is pretty good as well, where you have rifle pistol on your first day, shotgun pistol on your second day. They usually drop a stage on the shotgun day. Kind of helps the people that travel to be able to get out of there a little bit earlier so that they can do scores and prizes a little earlier in the evening, so people aren't getting on the road to drive 7+ hours home at 10 o'clock at night through
Yeah,
the
no
West
kidding.
Virginia backwoods.
Hmm.
So day one setup is basically, like I said, 6 stages. You start out in the morning with the registration and safety brief, pretty standard for shooting competition. And then they do a round robin style. So people that are familiar with like the brutality matches or moons out or stuff like that are gonna recognize that. People who have done more uh, organized competitions are probably going to be unfamiliar with that. You get a sticker sheet with your name and your classification on it, and then you just go. It's really on you to make sure you're getting through all the stages in a timely manner. They don't have an hour cutoff. They but they will make fun of you if they have to come hunt you down to make sure you've finished all the stages. It really helps with the flow of the match. Like we said earlier, we're getting through you know, in the years past, having to get people shooting at 6, 7, even into like 8 o'clock at night, which in October in West Virginia, it can start to get pretty dark that time, and it is a remote, so there's no really lights anywhere to be had except ones you brought with you. Uh, this system really helps prevent backups. You do get, it's any competition, you will have waiting that you have to do, but you don't get the hour and a half long waiting for an entire squad to shoot before then your squad can come in and shoot. But you're able to travel with the people that you've come with. The seven of us stuck together pretty closely. We didn't have to spread out or get away from each other. We were able to maneuver all together as a group, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, as we've like I think was my fourth one. So the first year was just like you and I, and then a bunch of your like buddies that you shot with before. And then as it's kind of morphed, as we added like Brent, Daryl, and then Tyler, Jeff, and then Andrew this year, I had some concerns about the size of the squad like growing, but we did have people that would normally shoot with us in years past that didn't, that kind of shot on their own. So it did balance out. And I don't really feel like we were ever really tied up as a result of the size of our squad. And realistically, too, if you think about it, a 7 or 6 person squad is fairly small. And again, you're waiting on other people in front of you, but I feel like we got done on a very reasonable time this year. Again,
Yeah,
that
Oh
70
yeah, no
75 second
question.
par has
yeah.
helped on that.
We got done a little bit later than we had in the past. I think that was maybe some of uh our flow plan for the day maybe got a little bit turned around on some
Sure.
things, and we ended up having some more backups than we did last year. But still, I mean, still ending in the bright sunshine of the day, plenty of time to reset up for the next day in the daylight. You're not having to do it all by flashlight or red lens or anything like that.
Oh, for sure. From what I'm seeing is we started shoot. We got to the first stage at 9:04, and then we were done shooting around 3:30.
That's not bad.
That's
Mm-mm.
yeah,
All things
that's really good.
considered, that's actually, yeah, it's not bad at all. That's really about That's a little longer than like a standard USPSA for us because we start usually at 9, correct, and then we're done around 2.
Right. There's a little bit like there's the logistics too of moving people up and down like the road. The shoot
Oh
house is pretty
yeah.
far away from the rest of the bays and stuff. So, and then the stages are more complex. The setup takes a little bit longer. They're a bit bigger. So no, I'm not mad about that at all. It was again well run again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of good ROs. I mean, like I said, they're a gruff bunch, but they're gruff because they want everything to go smoothly and they want you to enjoy the event. So
Okay, so I want to comment on that before I forget about it. I don't know what the deal was, but when we arrived on Friday morning, and the ROs were driving by, all of them were like waving at us and smiling at us. I'm like, dude, what kind of happy pills is Dan giving these people? Because
yeah,
they were like super pleasant, and I'm like, what is going on?
I think
And
Dan dosed everybody.
could be. And for the record, like as we've got to know these guys more, they, it's definitely more of like a kind of joking relationship back and forth because we know what to expect. So these guys are all like really funny to be around, right? So they're great ROs and great people. But again, if you don't know them, the gruffness can kind of maybe rub you a little bit the wrong way. But it was really funny because I'm like, what's going on? Like, are we in the Twilight Zone here? Because they
Yep.
were they were all very, very happy. So
Yep.
whatever happy
Usually they're only
pills,
happy to see me.
that's fair. And then they yell at you. So
That's true. They do yell at me.
yep. All right. Do we want to walk through the stages then real quick and kind of hit some highlights on those? Tyler, you want to kick us off on? Let's go through stage 1 if you don't matter all the way up.
Yeah, for sure. So on stage 1, this one was of course pack on. We had our pistols. So this one we actually got our pistols. It was fully loaded, and but with the rifle, our first mag had to be 3 rounds, but the rest of it could be to capacity. And also to one more thing that we didn't talk about is this year we had to retain all of our.
Mm-hmm.
If we dropped our mags, or rather, if we drop it and left it, then we will get some type of penalty. So that was one thing that they changed this year. I think they did that for the sake of set as a resetting the stage and getting the shooter off. That's my assumption, especially with a 75-second par time. But with this one, what you're doing is we were on stage 1 of the of the bay, and right here you're starting, and there's one thing that they also did change is in the past they would use the USPSA targets like that silhouette target, and you'll do 2 to the body, 1 to the head, A zone only. But this year, instead of doing that, they use like these 3-inch or 4-inch paper plates or whatever. Not 3 inch. No, they're probably 6 inches, but whatever they're just paper plates that they just kept stapling. So this time, really at the start, we shot 3 at the paper, and then from there we would go to our pistol, and then we would shoot at a little like that steel tree, shoot it from one side to the other, and then you're basically walking through these sticks that will kind of lined up like a little path. The idea was like you're on a roof that's falling apart, and if you moved the stick in any way, you'll get a penalty. Some people who moved really fast basically moved all the sticks out of the way. I don't know who did that and got a
Yeah.
ton of penalty points, even though he cleared it really quickly, and the person who went slower but was more accurate did better than him. I have no idea who I'm referencing at all on that stage,
Yeah, I
I
but
couldn't
don't
tell you.
I don't
no,
know either.
no idea at all. But essentially, for this one, there are like these blue barrels that are kind of set up, and you're just engaging these 4 or 5 inch steel plates that were kind of hidden by the barrel, and you're just swinging left to right essentially, doing and making sure you don't break the 180. And you shoot that, and then you kind of run down to like this makeshift roof that they made. From the looks of it, they use some type of grip tape, so this way you're not like slipping on it. And
Well,
then
They're called roof shingles, Tyler.
I don't know. Were those roof shingles?
Yeah,
they
those are
were,
just
yeah.
those are just shingles.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Even better. They look like grip tape to me from far away, but I don't even care. So, even better, man. So it goes to show my lack of construction experience. I've been dealing with grip tape recently, if you can't tell. But either way, so you go on top of it, and you're allowed 1 foot on top, and then you're shooting like these tiny little poppers that are hidden behind a barrel as well. And then once you shoot those, you'll empty your pistol holster, and then you lie down or rather, I think I couldn't remember, you had to lie down or you just had to be. Yeah, you had to climb onto the roof.
You had to be on the roof, and with the pitch of it, you were laying down.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Which, unless you're Phil, who's like 10 feet tall, and he had to do like a weird like sumo
Well,
squat, lay
we'll get
down
there.
on it.
We'll get there.
So, but and then there's guys like then there's me who's short enough where I literally just like dolphin dives on top of it, and then you lay down, you're shooting four steel targets at I don't know what they were, maybe two. How far do you guys think those were?
It was 180 to 250.
That's what I thought. I was gonna say about 200 yards. So either way, there are four targets, and once you're done, that's it. And yeah, so that was stage one. So any highlights on that one, Phil?
Yeah. This was oddly one of my better stages for rifle day, even though I was like super awkward on the roof prop. It wasn't a very like long roof prop, at least from my perspective. So I had to get in this really weird. I actually have not watched the footage yet, and I'm sure it's hilarious. But I had to get in this like weird like stance, and I kind of slipped going up the thing because like part of it was had the like shingles on it, and the other part I kind of worn off,
Mm-hmm.
and I just could not get on there. And that's like the only like I jacked my shins up pretty bad that day. But thank goodness for knee pads. But it was really funny. And when I put a video together, I'll definitely put it on like the blooper reel. I'll put myself trying to scramble up that stupid thing.
No
But I
kidding.
ended up holding the rifle on this really weird like angle and trying to get my shots off. I think I barely finished that stage under time. But it was a good stage. It was fun. Like the whole concept of not hitting the sticks as you're going up is an interesting one because normally like USPSA shooters we're used to dealing with like the sticks, but they're usually ones that we're stepping on purpose, and that's usually like the edge of our shooting distance. And we'll
Mm-hmm.
use those to gauge like we'll step on it and without like touching the other side, and then use it to kind of lean around as much as we can to shoot targets that are hidden. But in this case, you had to completely avoid them. So it made for some pretty humorous watch people walk kind of like baby stepping down this thing was pretty funny. And then every once in a while, somebody would like full on get like a stick caught on like their shoe and like just kick it like a foot off or 2 feet off of like the path.
Mm-hmm. I think Andrew did that at one point. Just
He did. I wasn't going to call him out,
launched
but
one in.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
he
No,
definitely did.
I thought that was
Love
Jeff.
you, Andrew. It was definitely Andrew.
Well, I
Unless
know.
Jeff did it too.
Well, Jeff did one. I'm trying to remember if this was the one where it was like a big square that you started in, because like Jeff literally grabbed, like he caught the whole thing and moved the whole
No, that
square
was stage
with him.
2.
Okay, which we will talk about afterwards then. But either way, it was a pretty fun stage. It's funny because I'm actually looking at the scores because I think Phil. So I know for me, I think I finished that in like I don't know, like 60 seconds. Actually, now I remember because we watched this. There's probably like 15 dudes in front of us, 10 or 15 dudes,
Oh yeah.
and I think only one guy completed it. And I was the first one to start, and I was like kind of get a little psyched up, like, oh my goodness, can I even finish this? Since I was first in our squad to do it. And I think I completed it in like 50 something seconds, but because of all my penalties, I got 86 seconds on that one.
I didn't
Kyle,
realize it was that bad.
oh, it was bad. Kyle, you got 59.88, and Phil, you got 74.30.
Yeah, because I literally like
Just
finished
came in
like
right in
I,
under the time.
Exactly.
you're gonna sense a theme for my finishes for the rifle day, especially was right under par.
Yes. You were right under par a lot. Like I said, I was like fairly under, but all my penalties got me that 86. I think I had a mic as well somewhere in there.
Oh,
But no, not that one. Never mind. But either way, it doesn't really matter. The irony of it all too is they actually put me in Iron Sight division by accident. So I actually had second place at the end of day one because of it. It's actually kind of funny.
But we
But
got that sorted.
unfortunately, yes. So
we did.
but either way, so that was stage one.
All right. You wanna? I think you've got all the stages in front of you, Tyler.
I
So
do.
you're gonna have you, unless Kyle can jump in and remember these stages. I think let's go ahead and have you just kind of go through them all, and then I'll have Kyle comment on this next
Yeah.
one.
Yep. Stage two. Here it is. Yep. So stage two, they named it Fallen Comrades, and we started with one pistol mag of 7 rounds. Mags 2 and 3 were 4 rounds. Mag 4 was 5 rounds. The rifle mag was 10 rounds, and the rest were at loaded capacity. So at start, we had this was the one where we had a backpack in a car
Yeah.
in the back seat, and the door was open, and you had to essentially either shoot through the window or over the window to shoot at two at a white circle target. You have to shoot that twice, and then a white popper target once, and then a half circle that was green. You have to engage that as well, and then from there you had to hit the white side of that pistol of that circle. And then from there you're going to clear your pistol and then you can grab your bag. So you can either grab your bag before or after, but either some people chose to just run with it in their hand and drop it and shoot. Others decide to put the backpack on. Then you had to move to a green shooting box and then you had to load your pistol. Your mag, you had other mags that are placed on the barrel, I believe. And then you had to load your pistol and kind of go from there. So load your pistol and then engage the four green targets. You're going to move to the red shooting box, load your pistol, four red targets, go to blue, load five blue targets, and then you holster your pistol. Then you go to the yellow box, and then you're just going to mag dump a head target with 10 rounds. Then you're going to reload and then engage the remaining rifle targets that are, I don't know, like another 100, 200 yards down.
They're about
And
75. About 75 yards.
was it 75? I don't know. Clearly, I don't know my distances. And and then you had to shoot it from left to right, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah,
Listen to the stage briefs.
I was listening, but I also read the stage brief, and the stage brief did not specify that. So someone else got a procedural again from that. I wonder who did that.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, thanks. So
Yeah.
It's just impossible to know.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
Well, not there was never nobody on this podcast clearly.
No,
No, of course not.
no, not at all. Exactly. And because of his procedurals and his mics, he had a 99.27.
Ooh.
And then someone else got a 66.86. And the other person had a 90.53.
Well,
Yeah.
but maybe the person with the lowest score should kind of give us a recap on that stage and what their thoughts were.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead, Phil?
It wasn't me.
so you're seeing a theme with these past two, and it'll continue on through the entirety of the recaps of the match stages. Downloaded mags were super common. I don't think we had a single stage where you didn't have at least a one pistol mag or one rifle mag or both downloaded to a certain degree.
I'm pretty sure you're correct.
It's not my favorite thing to do in a match. I don't like necessarily having to download ammunition, but it does add an easy safety precaution where if you don't want guns being carried, slung, chamber loaded, or reholstering hot guns before transitioning into a rifle. It is an easy way for the stage designers to just say, okay, you get 3 rounds only. Here's 2 targets. Clear your gun before it holsters. It's an easy way to set those safety parameters in without really disrupting the flow of the stage. But the certain times, I'm very much it's the Indian, not the arrow, and but sometimes gear does come into factor. One item I typically use in competitive shooting with ARs is a coupled magazine. Most of that is due to it makes a really good improvised bipod without adding a whole bunch of weight to the front end of your gun. Especially if you're in a division that doesn't allow bipods for the more general recognized shooting sports. However, it actually worked out really well for me in this stage because of having downloaded mags and not having to stow that empty magazine, being able to just swap my coupled magazine over and be ready to go for the next course of fire. It definitely gave me an advantage in certain situations. This stage definitely being one of them. Having to drop 10 rounds into a target that wasn't, it sounds easier than it really is. 10 yards, pie plate, 10 rounds doesn't seem like that bad. But when you're trying to do it as fast as humanly possible, it's really easy to throw a couple shots. And we did have some people that mic'd on some of those rounds. But
wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jeff and Andrew both had a mic.
Hide over bore, man. It's a big deal.
That is
Yeah.
fair. It's knowing your holds, man.
Actually, correction. Andrew did not get to the rifle portion of
No,
it. that,
That's right. Sorry,
that
Andrew.
one.
that
Sorry,
was also
Andrew.
a common theme of the day. Andrew, we
Yeah,
love you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But being able to just switch transition immediately to my second magazine without having to restow that extra mag or that empty magazine and then transition right into the rifle targets. That was helpful on a variety of stages in the match.
I too did the coupled mag thing, but not nearly as eloquently as you did. I think
That's true.
later on in the day, I definitely improved my reloads with the coupled mag, and I would definitely do it again, even if it was not as elegant as maybe I'd like it to be. So that's a personal takeaway for me, just getting some more work behind reloading off the coupled mag. And like my for some reason my firearm will either really jam the magazine in there when the bolt's forward, even if you like download the mag, which they were. You have to like really shove it in, and that can be a little bit more difficult with the coupled mags, just because of like the weird geometry of how you're grabbing them. So again, that's a training thing for me, and something I'll shore up for next year.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But the other comment I was gonna say on this one, I think I know I had an FTE on this because that's why my score I think was high. I just
Still beat me on this one.
my brain fell out of my head, and I think I took 2 shots at one of the plates or something like that, and then I like had a plate left over, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna shoot at that one, and then moved on, and then I had a mic early on, I think too, or something like that. So
Yeah, because once again, because these ones, because you had limited ammo,
right,
you
yep.
had to make your shots, which Kyle made it very clear to me. Tyler, very rarely gonna tell you that to do this, but slow down.
Slow down and get your hits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tyler, how how would you say you do when you're limited the amount of ammo that you have?
I hate it.
You're like an accuracy
I hate it. I hate it. I
volume
hate
kind
it.
of guy?
Yeah.
Tyler would have been an excellent machine gunner for our veteran
Yes.
ammo friends out there.
That's fair.
He's a more of the to whom it may concern rather than the one shot one kill type.
Oh, 100%. That's a great way to put it.
I remember coming in some of those stages with the small poppers, and then with the plate racks that we had like flip, and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna beat Tyler this year, it's gonna be on those. Because
It is true. Well, I mean, you
yeah.
beat me last year.
Yeah, but I also had a MagFet shotgun.
That is
You were
fair.
beating me on day one by a considerable amount last year, sir.
Yeah,
So
and this year I only beat you by like 2 people. It wasn't even that much this time.
it was a little bit closer this year. I also didn't poop the bed on the rifle day as much as I did last year.
That
So
is fair. That is true. You had a really off day last year on rifle day.
I did.
Granted, I think you're just having an off day in general.
Yep. But this year was good.
Dialing in that new upper.
That's fair. Well, and also I think you transitioned to a red dot instead of just LPVO, right?
Yeah. This year I ran Red Dot, and I loved every minute of it, and I will never go back to an LPVO.
Yeah.
Just leaving that out there. You guys can love your LPVOs, run them. They're a great tool. They're definitely do a lot of things better than a Red Dot, but I love my LPV or I love my Red Dot, and I'm gonna
I
stick to
agree.
it.
I mean, we didn't even go this year. I was pretty worried because I did go into it with a red dot and a 3x magnifier. I was a little worried about because I mean, you and I went to the 500-meter
Yeah.
range at our range, and I was hitting 200-300s just fine. 400, it was struggling. 500, I think I only hit it maybe 2 or 3 times out of like 15-20 shots. So that one was a struggle.
The never-ending argument of LPVO, magnifier, or ACOG.
Oh, 100%. Yes. No one's ever going to win. It's just whatever you feel like at the time or which shot last.
Which one are you going to use more?
Exactly. But either way, so that was stage 2. Stage 3, I think we all agree, was definitely one of the highlights of the weekend in general.
Tyler, was stage 3 your favorite stage?
It was up there. I don't know if I'd say. I think stage 3 was definitely my favorite on day 2.
Okay.
Day 1 was definitely up there. I don't know if I have necessarily a favorite on day 1 personally.
All right. All right.
I had a choice word for the RO during the stage brief when he was reading it off, and I just had to go, a boat?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
What
Tyler, why don't you tell us about this boat?
So stage 3, we were literally like we were on a boat that was like extended on some type of chains
Cue
or
Lonely Island overtime.
yeah. It was
Mhm.
called 360 Gilligan. This was on the 360 range, and this one you were not allowed to see the stage ahead of time. We all had to wait outside. The only people that were allowed in there that was not an RO was just like Kaylee, who was not participating, and she was just taking pictures and recording for us. So for this one, it was we had her. We had a pistol mag of the first one was 5 rounds, and the rest was at capacity. And then our rifle mags were at capacity. So at start, our rifles were loaded without a chamber in the round, and it was at the bottom of the boat. And then our pistol was hot and holstered with the 5 round mag. So then at the beep,
Well, real quick, Tyler, will you do me a favor?
yep.
Will you describe the boat setup so that like because it's one thing to just put a boat on the ground, but this was not down on the ground.
No, it was not on the ground. The best part, I'm actually pulling up pictures because I'm actually looking at it now. So the boat
Oh,
was literally okay. I see it now. So the boat was extended. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 feet off the ground. It's connected by. I don't even know how to describe
like
Chains.
this.
chain
Yeah,
link.
it's just
Yeah,
a bunch of
Yeah.
chain links. The boats are on top of just two by
Yeah.
fours,
Four
and
by
it's
fours.
were those? No, I'm looking at it, it's two by four.
you can tell somebody's been doing construction lately.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
spent an
mean,
entire summer doing construction.
no, you're right. I mean, there are definitely four, but like the corners are all four by fours. Like the actual like like the pillars and the corners are four by fours, but the boat was on top of two by fours that were connected on the chains to the four by fours. So,
Basically, making a very unstable platform to shoot from.
oh yeah, like the boat's
It's
literally
it's
rocking.
it's two by fours stacked on top. That's why it looks
Yes,
like a four by four.
exactly, exactly. I'm only seeing it because at my angle, I could see how the
Man, those
top
bend.
one's literally out just a hair. That, but either
Yeah.
way, it really doesn't matter. So it's literally just on top of this thing, and it's just the best part is the RO starts us like pushing the corner, and then we're just rocking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all thought, go for it.
Having to. You also staged your rifle at the front of the boat. So once you were done with your handgun portion of the stage and reholstered your cleared pistol, you had to then get up and move forward into this. This is a 12
It's like
foot,
yeah,
15-foot John boat.
Oh yeah,
So the one you'd use at your uncle's fishing pond out in the country. It's not a large stable vessel.
no, not at all.
It was probably, I've spent a lot of time on boats like this. It's probably more rickety than it would have been if we had just actually put that boat in the river.
yeah.
Yeah, but this one was just it was definitely very interesting then to with this one as well at the start, the way that the stage briefing says is you need to reel you have a fishing rod and you're reeling in a zombie head that's attached to. Someone took that extremely literally and starts reeling the handle for like 5 seconds. And then eventually the RO and Kaylee, who's recording, all yells and says, pull the head. So that person finally pulled it in because he kept reeling and his had a massive brain fart, and the zombie head would stay there.
To create a visual picture for the listener, um, there's like a fishing reel, right? And
Hmm.
normally when you reel something in, like again, you spin the wheel on the I'm not a fisherman. This is really embarrassing.
Reel.
On the fishing pole on the reel,
Yeah,
and
the
you
literal
would
reel.
reel the fish in right by bringing the string back into the actual reel itself.
Hmm.
In this case, that was not actually hooked up at all. It was just a
A
string
paracord.
that was attached to a paracord that was then attached to a zombie head that was on the ground. So
Hmm.
literally, all like the normal person would do is grab the reel, grab like the line, and then just basically yank them into the boat.
Yes.
And they explained it. To be fair, Tyler, they did say that you have to reel it in. So if I had not
I don't,
noticed it was attached,
I don't know what you're
perfectly
talking about.
attached,
Why do you
I
assume
would
that was
have.
me?
I don't know. I don't. Maybe it was you. Maybe it wasn't.
And that person who reeled it in, he reeled it in so fast that you couldn't even see that person's hand trying to reel it
It was a
in the
blur.
video. It was
Not
literally
only
a
does
blur.
Tyler shoot fast, but he also reels very
I
fast.
guess so.
Yeah.
But either way, so at that point, so we pull it in, and then that's when you grab. That's when you draw your pistol, and then you go ahead and engage the white circles from left to right, and then you're going to engage the zombie, which was just a steel target that had like what would that be called? What would that be called, Kyle? Like the little poppers? Like
So yeah, so if people are familiar with swinger targets on
yeah,
steel,
that's what it was. Yep.
it's one on like there's one on like the shoulder part, which is common for your hostage, but there's also one like center chest on the torso of the steel target.
Yep. And then for this one was also in the head. So in this case, you engage the zombie. And you'll go from the chest in and then out, and then you'll go from the eyes in, and then if you're able to get it out, you'll also get a bonus point of a 5 second reduction. After that, you'll clear your pistol and holster, and then you grab your rifle, and then you're going to engage the 5 paper targets at any direction that you want. You just have to shoot it 3 times, and then from there, show clear, make safe. So I think all three of us actually did this differently in how we shot it in terms of like positions.
Position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kyle, did you shoot it sitting?
So I shot pistol sitting, and then I shot rifle kneeling with kind
Oh,
of a transition, because you had to shoot right to left both times, so you had to do long transitions, back to the start point when you went to your rifle. But there was also a target very much, because again, this is a 360-degree base, so they like to give you almost all of that degree of berm to work with. They usually end up, you're at like a 240 kind of
Hmm.
degree. You're not quite 360, but you're, you know, for all intents and purposes, for people that are competitive shooters, it's going to feel like shooting in a 360.
Oh yeah.
But the last target with your pistol and rifle were very far back on the left side of your kind of arc of fire that you were shooting. And I kind of had to like rotate around and basically almost sit backwards in the boat to get lined up on that target with my rifle. Looked super action star.
Fair enough. And then what'd you do, Phil?
so because I'm like 10 foot tall, like we discussed earlier, I knew that there was no way I was going to stand up on the thing and not like end up with a concussion by falling out of the boat. So I like shot, did the whole thing pistol seated, and then um, pulled the rifle out and then sat back down again. I actually thought about kneeling as well too, like putting my knee into because I was wearing knee pads, putting it into like the seat in front. But again, I realized that coordination is not necessarily my gift, so I made the option to sit back down and shoot the stage seated, and then really quick performance wise on that, because I know Tyler, you shot it different than both of us. I had 3 mics on the stage. I got way overconfident on the paper plates, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tyler,
This
how did
Go ahead.
So
I was going to ask you how you shot the stage, Tyler.
for this one, at the start, I literally stood up, started reeling, and then I just stood the whole time. I just shot the pistol from right to left or whatever direction we had to go, and then I just leaned over, grabbed my rifle. And funny enough, if you actually watch the video, you can actually see the string hanging from my rifle as I was shooting.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's funny.
So I was like, yeah, no, I just stood the whole time. Personally, I didn't have any issues, probably because I have no idea. I know I squat a lot,
Well,
so
I
yeah.
like I said, Tyler doesn't skip leg day, so he has a ability to keep pretty good balance in there.
And I'm shorter too, so I get that. So but I just had no issues at all, just standing and turn. Of course, like every time I turned or transitioned a little bit, it wiggled a little bit. I had no issues though. So, and in this stage, let's see how we all did. Kyle, of course, beat us on this one. Duh. So, so let's see. I had 77-73. Kyle, you had 59-40. And Phil, for this one, you were right at 90.
Yeah, which is wild. Um, I must have shot it at a flat time, which is crazy. And then the 3 mics added up, so maybe it was that right at par.
I was about to
But
say you might have just been right. I think I do remember you were right at par. You're at 75,
yeah,
but you're still clean.
I did clear it. Yeah, I
Yeah, you
might have gone
cleared it.
right
I
just
mean, yeah.
like slightly over, but that would make sense because then the 3 mics would add up 5 seconds each would add up to 90. So
Yeah.
not my best stage, but
Yeah. This is probably still even though I shot it faster than most in our group, this was still my worst stage because it's the only 2 mics I had for the day. Those paper
Mm.
plates up close,
Oh, dude, yeah.
rocking. I mean, and I even put the 2 plates that I had mics on, I even put like 5-6 shots at it just to like, be sure I'm gonna get 3 on this. Having a less than a quarter second split time on the rifle, you should be able to get a few more in there without sacrificing your overall time. But still ended up just don't spend enough time shooting from suspended boats, I guess.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Skill issue.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll have to be on your improvement list for next year, or for next year, Kyle.
Yeah,
Shoot from
absolutely.
boats.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. We're all gonna find someone's boat and just start shooting from it.
But I will say this is one of the examples of a stage that like. You kind of expect, maybe is the wrong word, but maybe you expect to see at Zombie, because they're just kind of like off the wall ideas that you won't get anywhere else, right? Typically, because like you've seen, like you'll see unstable platforms at USPSA or IDPA matches from time to time. People don't necessarily like to use them because it a boat is made out of metal, so it's less likely to like break or fail as easy. And it was pretty well like suspended and like pretty well done, right? But the problem is you get USPSA and IDPA, where competitive equity, I'm using air bunny quotes here, is like of ultimate importance. It does make it a little bit more difficult to have those at matches beyond just a local match. I know they've had a few at like state level or even area level matches, but MDs tend to shy away from that stuff. So again, there's just a little bit of expectation here that, again, you could argue that maybe the RO didn't rock somebody's boat quite as much as someone else, right? But the expectation is there. Like, what's the saying? We tried fair and decided against it.
Yeah.
So there's just
We considered fair and decided against it.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
I think
think this match is more about the experience, really,
right.
too.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a prize table. It's it's going to go to the best shooters in the group usually. Like, it's not going to be somebody that figured the game out better than you did. It's somebody that, they are a better shooter than I am. Hint, hint. But it's not going to be so much of an advantage that it's really going to affect the overall scores. There almost are never. I mean, in 7 years of shooting this, it's almost never been like down to a stage that's decided first
Right.
place finish, unless you get like start getting some really competitive people out there. Usually like 4 or 5 people are going to stand above the pack, and they're going to be fighting it out, and the gaming aspect is really not going to be called into question.
All right, Tyler, on to stage 4.
All right, so stage 4 was over at the woods. And so this one was, of course, pack on again. And your first pistol mag was 5 rounds, the rest at capacity. Your was your first mag was at 6 rounds, and the rest was at capacity. And then from there, you're starting at the shooting box. You're going to engage the 2 zombie targets, that hostage style target that Kyle was talking about earlier in the previous stage. And you're going to go chest in, chest out, and then eyes in for both of them. And then you actually would get a bonus for the right target if you get the eyes back out. So from there, afterwards, you're going to go ahead and clear and pistol. This one, you were forced to do a reload no matter what, because what is that, six shots, but you start with 5 rounds. And then from there, you clear and holster your pistol. And then from your rifle, you're going to engage 3 paper targets 3 times each. And then you're going to engage 2 steel targets downrange. And then I'm sorry, I skipped a whole thing. So after after shooting this hostage, you're going to move to the next shooting box with your pistol in hand, and then you're going to engage a white circle, 1 hit, and then that's where you'll clear your pistol, and then you'll, with your rifle, you'll do the 3 paper targets, and then the 2 steel targets that were downrange that were basically hidden in the trees, which we all were trying to figure out what the best position where we should stand so we can actually see both targets. Then from there, show them make clear.
I found
I know you did, Kyle.
it.
There's a reason why you did better than all of us.
Yeah.
Literally.
I was looking at the scores in the stage, and I'm like, did that score from the wrong stage? No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, that's stage 4. I had 55-71. Kyle had 43-73. And Phil, for this one, you had 72-18.
Yeah. This was an interesting stage
It
because like, and
was.
I struggled on this one a little bit. And I actually got I got a mic because I thought I hit the target back out on one of the chests and I did not.
Yeah,
I
I
even looked
remember
at
that.
footage and I just wanted to check and it like moved because it was close and then so I got dinged on that. And then for some reason on the last rifle targets, for me, it was definitely accuracy via volume. I just could not hit those targets, and then finally made contact with them. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm done!" And I'm literally impressed I even finished that stage in time. So
I was about to say, I think spoiler alert. I think you and I only had one stage where we timed out, and then Kyle, you didn't time out any stage. You got close in one though, correct?
Yeah, I got close on the meadow, but
Which we will be talking about next.
yep.
yeah,
But
Any other comments on this wood stage from either of you? Just thoughts on it?
yeah, it's a nice place to be because they can really hide targets on you. So uh,
Yeah,
they can. It's a very kind of again theme of this match this year was very simple, straightforward stages, but difficulty level was definitely still there.
oh, 100%. Cool.
yeah. It's interesting because like the woods is always an interesting setup, and how they treat it every year because again you have the hidden targets for rifle typically that are downrange, but like in years past they've had us like shooting bowling pins or crawling under a net or crawling over a net.
Yeah.
Definitely because of the 75-second par time, a little bit more simplistic from a stage perspective. Still fun, obviously, but again, when you shave off, 15 seconds off the overall time, it just you have to move some stuff off it, especially when you're making downloaded mags and having reloads. That definitely adds additional time on the clock doing administrative things instead of shooting, right? Which goes back to kind of what Kyle was saying earlier. This match definitely had that vibe of having more downloaded mags this year than any other years previous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like last year felt like it was the year of the shotgun with the high shotgun round counts
Yeah,
and stages,
29
right?
round
Dumb.
shotgun stage.
Yep, yep. So, and this year was the year of the reload and retaining magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Cool. All right. So stage 5, this was over at the Meadows, and they called it the Bloodbath. So this one, our pistol, first mag was 5 rounds. The rest were at capacity, and then our rifles were at capacity as well. So for this one, you're at the shooting box. You're shooting 4 green pistol targets that are like suspended just on these rebar, and you just knock it off. And then
Yeah,
after you're done with that, you just go to a simple plate rack. From there, you clear your pistol and holster, and then you're gonna run to this barrier that had there are three, I believe, three shooting positions.
two.
Was it two?
Yeah, all the way on the top and then just off to the
Yep.
one side.
You are right. Yep. So you're gonna go ahead exactly. So it kind of looks like a little pyramid per se, but one position you're essentially leaning or you're kind of kneeling on top of it. It's like the second step, and then at the very top you're kind of more standing, unless you're filled and you're basically
Then you're
leaning on
kneeling them
every.
both.
You're
Yeah.
kneeling on
Mm-hmm.
everything. So you're shooting
Mm-hmm.
at two targets, one at 200, the other at 300, and I believe you just have to shoot it once. Correct?
Yeah,
So you shot it once, you're those two positions, you clear your rifle, and then you run up to a little square box that you can either stand or kneel on, and then you shoot at those two targets as well. Someone thought it'd be a good idea to kneel, and he kept missing, and then he timed out, but he should have just stood up because that's what he's better at.
yeah.
So
I got lucky on that one.
it was
That
rough,
was that
man.
was close.
It was
That was
rough.
a lot closer than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, because for this one, I timed out, and I had the one mic, so that put me at 80. I believe Phil, you had the same thing. Yep, you were at 80 as well. Kyle,
Correct.
you
Yep.
you were at 72-42
Yep. Yeah,
for that
shot it
one.
clean, but was really close on one of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, the first, ironically, the closer 200 yard or little less because you ran up like 10 yards.
Yeah,
Uh, the closer target kneeling gave me more trouble than the further away target did.
that's actually really funny.
Yeah, I think I put eight or nine rounds at the 200 before I hit it, and then I think it was only like 3 or 4 to take the 300 yard.
That's funny. That's funny how that happens sometimes too.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe it's
Need
just
to spend more time kneeling because, like you said, I think if I had just ran in, taken those standing, it would have been donezo.
Hmm.
I remember this stage. So when you get to Echo Valley on Friday, you can go down and to the meadows and you can shoot in advance, check your zero, that kind of stuff if you want to. So we all went down to shoot that Friday, just so, they had targets that were set out at those distances. So we shot at them. I remember I was really concerned for that next day because I was not hitting. Like normally, rifle at that distance is not a problem for me. For some reason, I was just struggling really hard the day
Hmm.
before. And I really had a hard time to try not to get in my own head on that stage as a result of just like the day before not being able to hit stuff. I still timed out in the same method that you did, Tyler, where I was putting rounds on the last target, and I didn't make that contact before time ran out. I think you had more shots on the last target than I did. I think I only got off like two, maybe three shots.
Dude, I
Um,
had so many shots off. It's not even funny.
but but again, like the fact that you and I both got to the end because there were a lot of people that timed out on that
That is a good
stage.
point. Yeah.
And I'm looking at some of like the Iron Stage shooters here real quick because we have a printout of the top, actually all of them. And so you start looking at people start timing out on these things and losing lots of points as a result because
Hmm.
FTEs really hurt you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Um, so again, it's getting to the end. I will say I was impressed with the rifle being able to like do work for me. So I definitely appreciate that and getting to the end at least and not getting an FTE, just getting a mic off of that.
Yeah, that's a big key point to talking about gaming of the stages and stuff like that is if you're really getting sucked into a target, you got to keep
Yeah.
that clock going in your head that take a mic because it's a whole lot better than an FTE on 7 or 8 targets because you ran out of time and to get a chance to engage them.
Yeah, and I think even when there were stages where they had the bonus shots to like flip the eye box back out, there were a few of those. And it's one of those things where maybe you take a couple shots on it, and if you don't get it, don't sit there and just drop a mag at it. Move
Mm-hmm.
on because you've now gone past that 5 second bonus pretty
Exactly. It's not
quick.
even worth it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and honestly, it may only be worth like maybe one shot, unless two shots maybe on a split's fine. But yeah, move on. Like don't spend time on it. So a lot of newer shooters in the match may not have realized that, and they'll just spend time going to war on those targets instead of trying to make it through the stage. So again, like Kyle said, it's a little bit more gamer, but it's a time you're given with, and you have to do everything in your best effort to get through it, even if it does mean taking mics as a result to just finish the stage.
Yeah, finishing is more important than accuracy,
Oh,
Yep.
in my opinion.
100%. Yeah.
Take mics, don't get FTEs, finish the stage.
Hmm. I'm curious. Like, we figured out that a mic was 5 seconds. I'm curious what FTE
Correct.
was.
Is it 15 or 10?
I don't know.
No
You could
idea.
probably look at the math on this because there were some people that had like, I don't know. I probably math it out, but I won't do it on the podcast.
No, it's fine. But either way,
Yep.
so that was the
Nerd.
medals. That was the one where
Nerd.
Phil and I timed out and Kyle got close. But
Yeah,
and then finally, stage 6 is the shoot house. So this
yeah,
one they named it the quick and the dead. So the first one, our pistol, our first mag was 5 rounds. The rest are at capacity. And then rifle, our first mag was 6 rounds, and then our second mag was 10 rounds. So in this one, you go into the shoot house from the right, and then you engage 2 paper targets, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, or just 3 shots because that was just rifle, clear, make safe. And then with your pistol, you're going to engage just the steel zombies. You're going to close the chest and the eye plates in both. And then if you can get the eyes back, get the eyes back out. Once again, a 5 second reduction. From there, you're going to empty your mag, reload, and then you just run into the hallway and you're just going to engage the 3 targets. They're just little steel coins that's inside the tires. This way you don't get ricochets, or at least reduce that. And then 3 targets from the right, and then there'll be 4 targets in the room on the left, of one each. Clear a holster, and then you just load your 10 round mag into your rifle, and then you just mag dump at the end of the shoot house, and that's it.
I was
So
looking at my footage real quick on that. I was trying to see if I got the eye box back out, and I think I must have on this one. But Tyler, the shoot house is usually your favorite stage. Am I accurate in saying that?
I mean, yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, last year, this was only my second year, so yeah, shoot house is usually pretty fun.
And I think that's probably because it's just typically really fast,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Close, fast, like close up, fast shooting, like moving, maneuvering, having that like high burst type energy to get through it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is very much you to a T.
100%. This one, like, it was fun. I think I was more underwhelmed, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it because I was expecting you like I'm kind of like scrolling through my footage right now. Like I'm shooting the AR, I'm shooting my pistol outside the shoot house and I kind of go in. I'm looking thinking like which way am I going? I go in, I shoot, and it's only 7 targets and I'm like or 8 targets. I'm like, is that it? Then now I'm just mag dumping. I can actually see because to retain since I'm just mag dumping, I don't care about accuracy. I'm actually shooting with this with the emptied mag in my support hand, hold trying to C clamp my barrel. I'm like, why would I drop it? I'm like, I'll just do it that way. In a sense, that's like I'm coupling my mags, right, Kyle?
Yeah,
That's essentially what I'm doing.
absolutely.
So why waste 3 to 5 seconds trying to just put away my mag?
If it looks stupid but it works,
It does. It
it's not
works.
stupid.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. So I think I must have put mine back in the my dump pouch. Interesting.
Yeah. So for this one, I had 5508. Kyle, you like smoked us with 3873. And
Yeah.
then Phil, you had 5379 on that one. Holy cow, you beat me.
What? That is okay. I'm gonna print that out and I'm gonna frame it.
Dude, you beat me by like a second and a half.
You have to understand that Tyler is extremely fast in this kind of stuff. So if I even get close to Tyler, that's a win.
I think the crazy thing is you beat me in the shoot house both days.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know, right? You're welcome, people.
Yeah, Kyle, I think you got second place on that.
Second for this day.
Yeah, on the shoot house.
Just for
Well,
that one stage, yeah.
I knew I was going for they had an aim point rep out that was posted up outside. So while you're waiting, you could go check out some of their aim points wares. And while they had a lull, he asked the RO if he could go. The RO asked him if he would like to run through the shoot house. He's like, sure. So of course, being a gun rep, he's got all kinds of guns with him.
Oh yeah.
So he gunned up and he ran through that in 31 seconds.
That's insane.
Now he did confide in me after I shot it that he did not retain his magazines. So
Oh, okay.
so I say I beat him.
Ooh, yeah. I would. Yes.
There, the irony is I'm looking at
What's the penalty for a drop mag? Add that up. You beat him. Boom.
yeah, I know, right? The irony is the guy who beat you, Kyle,
It's
by
also
1 second is also named Kyle.
Kyle.
Of
Apparently, it's
course.
the Kyle stage.
I guess. Yeah, 3762.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
he
Yeah.
cheated.
So this, I mean, like I said earlier, this stage it's fun. It's different because how often do you get to go into a shoot house? But for me, I was just like, I even think last year for the rifle day, it was all purely pistol. So I was able to just run in, just guns blazing, going as fast as I possibly can. And I remember, I think Kyle, you because I borrowed your Insta 360 for that one specifically because mine froze, so it was malfunctioning, and I didn't know how to do a hard reset on it. And I remember you watch my footage, and you're like, "Holy crap, you're fast!"
Yeah.
So, but with that one, because I was literally just purely pissed, I just sped through it. But this one, like I said, it was fun, but I was just fairly underwhelmed in this case.
Yeah, this is probably one of the weaker um shoot house stages they've had in the last few years. It being a yeah, I've never been a fan of mag dumping just to mag dump.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that I feel like they could have if they really wanted you to just shoot as fast as possible, they could have thrown a couple of those paper targets up there. At least give you something to shoot at, because it made me just wish I had thrown an FRT trigger in my
Yeah.
my competition gun.
Didn't somebody run one on the stage? I think I heard somebody like
the guy that beat me. He
Oh,
had an
well, there you
FRT.
go.
He had an
There,
FRT. So that's
That
probably
explains
how
how he
he.
beat
That's
you.
probably how he beat me.
probably those
But
splits, man.
yeah, yeah, 10 rounds. I could definitely see an FRT versus my single stage trigger, a second being made up there. The same guy that did the night shoot stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you probably are. Yeah, the FRT definitely. If you can use it in a competition, which this one obviously you could, if you are mag dumping, there is like there's like not oddly, but there's an advantage to having that.
Hmm.
So, which you wouldn't normally think about because typically in a match like this, where it's all about accuracy, except for unless you get to the mag dump section, and in which case turn it to FRT and just go to town. I can imagine though, like what if he had that really well tuned, which obviously he did, like not a problem. But sometimes those things will give you hiccups here and there, and like having to like fix that on the clock though, I don't know if that'd be worth it or not. I don't know if I'd do it. But
Yeah,
again, if I had tuned perfectly, sure.
yeah, it could definitely go bad if you're not really confident in having set it up.
All right. So that was all of the stages. Again, the 75-second par time definitely, makes the stages definitely shorter. They can't do quite as much with them. Um, again, the boat stage definitely a really unique idea and concept. In the past, again, they've had you in and out of cars, that kind of stuff. They use the trench in the years past. So there's always something that's got like a stage that you've never done before and something, right? Like we joked about having to practice more inside of a rickety boat, right? Something you're not going to see elsewhere. But I guess a question for both of you, and we'll start with Tyler on this one. Did you have any like gear hiccups or any? Let me walk that back a second. Any specific moments about the match that you want to bring to attention that we didn't already cover? Anything with your gear that you would change out this year versus last year? Did everything kind of run the way that you were expecting it?
Yeah, I mean, overall things ran pretty well for me. For day one, so I'm really glad I did this. I did actually do a gear change in between because I have a static bungee sling that is fine, but I kind of maybe because I haven't trained much with it, I actually went back to my adjustable sling because that's what I'm used to. That's just what I prefer, and it works great. So I think after my first or second stage, I just went right back to my adjustable sling, and I kind of just stuck with it the rest of the day.
Friends don't
And
let friends use bungee slings.
yeah, so for a long time I was using an adjustable. It's a Blue Force Gear Vickers sling, I believe, and then I had a Warrior Poet sling. So, but I was just like, you know what, love you, John. Please sponsor us, but I don't care for your sling. So
Ouch! Right after you ask him to sponsor us, you diss his sling.
I'm
Dang.
kidding. I just for my context, I think because we were doing a lot of like moving, because there are times where like I was even thinking like putting the backpack on. It was just really hard to kind of just sling it that way. But either way, John, sponsor us. That'd be great. So, but either way, we have that aspect of it. And then for me also, ironically, with another Blue Force Gear um, equipment, my med pack, my IFAC fell out of my belt and it went missing for probably two stages.
How many times did this happen to you, Tyler?
Twice.
Yeah.
Happened to me twice once on day one and the second time on day two. Day two I caught it. What had happened was I think it was every time I think it was when I would take off my backpack, it'll get caught on and it'll just push it or pull it right out.
It also
So
happened to Andrew, if I remember
it
correctly.
did.
It did.
Hmm.
Like not to like diss them or anything, but that to me seems like that would happen a lot, and maybe it's just like I don't know if there's a way to improve the retention on those because I don't own one, but that seems like a big fail. That fact we had two people that had that happen to, and that happened to you
Mhm.
multiple times, Tyler,
Hmm.
and we weren't really running anything crazy either because it's not like you were wearing like body armor, but I got to imagine people out in the field now maybe they're not wearing belts, right? I don't know, whatever. But like the fact that you got caught and pulled out multiple times, like you imagine like going back to grab it and just having it be gone.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That it definitely makes me a bigger fan of the pouches with the removable inserts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you got everything contained, and it's just a buckle or a Velcro strap or a bungee strap just to pop that open and rip it out.
Hmm. Exactly. Which maybe I can jerry rig in a way, so this way I could get a buckle on there, so this way it keeps it more retained. Because right now it just goes into like a sleeve and it's just retained by Velcro on the inside,
Mm.
and that's
Yeah,
how it will get pulled out. Because the strap probably got caught on my backpack strap enough to where it will pull out, and with enough movement, it will just fall right out.
yeah.
So this is my first year where it happened, but it might not be my last if I keep running it. So we'll see. But Blue Force Gear, I'm good if you guys sponsor us too.
Please.
I know, right? Anybody, please.
So yeah, I the only thing I would say that I needed to maybe change up from this year to next would probably be my dump pouch.
Mm.
Uh,
Same. I agree with that.
it's a very basic one. I don't even remember who makes it, but it's more designed to be stowable than a dump pouch.
It might be a Blue Force Gear as well,
It might
actually, because I
maybe
have the same one as you do.
yeah. So it doesn't hold its shape very well, and so having it be at like the 7:30 8 o'clock position on my belt just doesn't make for like a seamless drop. So either moving that like further up towards 12, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on my belt behind like a magazine pouch or something like that, or just maneuvering into something different will probably be the only change I make for rifle day.
Yeah, I definitely had days where or times where I was like, "Where is my dump pouch?" So there were times I kind of just gave up and I just put it back in the magazine pouch or my chest rig
Yeah, that's what I did most of the time as well.
because the thing just kept swinging over. It just wasn't even worth it. Is this? I think I found it. Yes, there.
So
It's a 10-speed ultralight dump pouch from Blue Force
Yeah.
Gear.
So you're sacrificing speed for something that's lightweight. And again, the reality of the situation is using a dump pouch outside of this match is almost zero for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not gonna knock Blue Force too bad on it.
No. Holy cow! I do not remember spending that much on that dump pouch though.
Well, I used to work in the industry, so I definitely didn't spend that much.
That is fair. Good for you. It's like $60 right now.
yeah,
Inflation.
I guess.
wait, yeah. So I switched over my sling. Actually, it was funny because Badger Trekker this year, I was all set to run a bungee sling, and then before we started, I was like, I think I turned to Kyle. I was like, this feels like a really bad idea because you're running around and it's gonna like hit you in like the face or whatever. So I actually switched over to my Magpul sling, which I am now permanently on because I love that thing. I like how wide it is. The thing I like about it the most, and actually used quite a bit both on rifle day and on shotgun day, was that it is really fast to adjust. So if you
Hmm.
need to make adjustments on the fly, which I did, especially when I was like shooting the rifle, I realized at the long distance target or longer distance targets on the meadow on the meadows, the wood stage. Like I realized it wasn't as tight as I wanted to, so I actually pulled it tighter to kind of help with like hold the rifle in a little bit, so I wasn't moving around quite as much. So that was kind of the major change from this year versus last year was switching to that. Obviously, we talked about the red dot and magnifier versus LPVO. That was a huge improvement. And then I did actually switch out my dump pouch this year. So that's kind of what I was going to start with is saying like I switched over to the Flatline Fiber Co. dump pouch. Flatline Fiber definitely sponsor us because this thing was legit, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody. It's got Molly that's like attached to the top of it, and you can actually, if you're using like so I use the I'm drawing a blank on the brand, the dump
Aztec Kiwi.
S-Tech TVs. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
You can weave it behind S-Tech Kiwis really easy. So then you have like your mag pouches on the side, and then you can weave it below those. So I have mine right around like the 1030, maybe, which is right in the front. It doesn't impede my running at all. So it's just off the side of my leg, and then it makes using the dump pouch like a lot quicker than what I used to have in the back. I was like right in the back at 6 o'clock. I do get the Cordura one. Their Cordura is maybe a little more flimsy. So it's actually kind of like almost like I wouldn't say like a hybrid, probably more like 75% of the way there of like a super stiff Cordura. So you still get a little bit of the flexibility on it. So if you are running, it does move nicely with you. And I got that this year, and that was a change, and I'm glad I did. They're not cheap either. They're like $65. And then I got the smaller one. I would probably recommend maybe the little bit longer one, but not having tried it, I don't know if that would just be more annoying because it would flap more. But I didn't have any problems retaining anything in it because it's got like a bungee strap on it. You can tighten up if you have to, if you know you're running a lot. But that was a major change for me, and I'm glad I went to that, and I will definitely keep that on my kit. And then I did put a vertical magazine pouch in the back because I wasn't sure if we were going to have to reload off prone at all. I ended up never using it. I think maybe one stage. I think we had that required a couple mag changes. I think I started with that one back to
Did you mean
change.
horizontal?
Did I say vertical? I definitely
Yeah.
meant horizontal.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of I knew it because I saw your song. I was like, yeah, it's all good.
Yep. So those were the kind of the changes I made this year. Not a lot, honestly. Like normally from year to year, I usually make pretty big equipment changes just because I feel the pull like every man does to have to put new equipment on. But this year, I feel like it's taken a while, but I feel like I've arrived a little bit to where I like my equipment setup. And this is honestly very close to the equipment setup I ran for Badger. Actually, almost identical.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was again just minor changes there. Anything else we want to kind of cover from day one from Rifle? One thing I'll add real quick that we'll cover in the future. I think we're going to run a podcast on how to run a match and like enhance the experience for shooters. I don't want to spoil too much here, but there were a lot of like non-shooting or non-stage events in this match that really added to the fun overall.
Oh,
So while it's a
100%.
balance, right? So the stage times were definitely reduced. The stage is less complex, and maybe some of them weren't quite as good as they were in years past. But that was supplemented by all these other activities that we did over the weekend that were like either we did on our own or that were set up by the match director. A couple of them were that added to the vibe of the match that you're not going to get anywhere else. And again, we'll cover that in a podcast down the road. Again, it kind of makes it worth the trip for us to go from Michigan to West Virginia, like 10 hours plus to get there. With that, any other thoughts, Tyler or Kyle, as we wrap this up?
I think that's it. What do you got? Anything, Kyle?
Yeah, no, did great rifle day. It's always the highlight in my opinion of the match.
For sure.
Other than this year had other highlights. But.
That is true, which we'll talk about later.
Well, I want to bring it up because Kyle will not be on the next episode. So I do want to congratulate Kyle. Kyle pulled first place on Rifle Day and Shotgun Day.
Yes.
And ended up winning the match overall.
So congratulations, Kyle.
It only took 7 years.
Yeah,
but I got it.
I finally got it. Dude, that was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did really well.
To all the sponsors that hooked me up for that one.
Exactly. So all you people sponsor us too, please.
Yeah. I can. I'll slap your name on my back when I win the next event.
There we go. Perfect. But all that to say, Phil, what's your dad advice?
Dang it, Tyler! I am completely unprepared for this today. No, actually, I will actually have dad advice. I'm just that on the spot. So, when it comes to work in life, make sure that you aren't letting people like your job try to like destroy your work-life balance. Obviously, it's going to happen where you're going to have weeks where you're working a lot more than other weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, make sure that you're putting in the hours that are required to get your job done. But just be really cognizant of that fact, and especially don't let other people that are on your team take that work-life balance away from you. Just because they don't have a good work-life balance doesn't mean that you have to have a bad work-life balance.
Agreed. 100%.
Super important. It was just a really busy week last week for me. I didn't really see my family a whole ton. I was gone pretty much every night. And actually every morning I would get up and be gone before the rest of the family was awake. And then there were some nights where I was back after they were in bed. That happens, and that's just part of life, but be cognizant not to let that happen continually. Obviously work is work, and you got to be able to, make money and put food on the table, but just be cognizant of that fact, because businesses will take full advantage of that. And sometimes they don't know it either. Sometimes if you have a coworker that's trying to push you to work more than you maybe, like put more hours in to match like their hours is not necessarily an appropriate thing either. So But yeah, that's my dad advice for the day. Just be very well aware of the fact that we work to live, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what you do.
Yep. That's fair. I mean, if you're like a professional like Lego designer for a living, maybe you want to put 80 hours in a week, especially if you don't have a family. So just saying.
Nerd.
Nerd.
That's funny.
All right, Tyler, what's your dad advice?
So funny enough, my dad advice is also work related. As
Ah,
I know, it's been absolutely same on my end. It's been crazy. This is something I've been saying that my mentor has really instilled into my head. So this is not my dad advice, but it's kind of on related, I guess, a comment to yours, Phil, of how I've said it before on the podcast, how work was work has been work is designed to kill us. It's designed to destroy us, which is why it's our responsibility to have boundaries and learn how to say no and how to know when to stop and spend time with your loved ones, with your family. Because the reason why we even make money is to invest in relationships. That's why we have it, because we can't take it with us when we die. So let's just make sure that we have boundaries in that case. So this way we're not burning ourselves out. So my actual dad advice, or life advice rather, is based off of making sure, just if you need help, just ask for it. It's We are not meant to do things alone. Even for me, my context, of course, as a pastor, is I work with volunteers, I lead volunteers, and it's so easy for me to always be worried, like, well, I mean, I'm the one getting paid to do it. Like, I can just, like, I don't need to ask. I can just do it. I can, but I'm not Atlas. And many times I try to do that and carry the weight all on my own, when in reality, I have a team and people are more than happy to help, especially they just don't know it. So that's why it's just so important to do that. And that's why it's just so, yeah, it's just so vital to ask for help, because actually, right now, we have our missions month coming up. And I was like, I realized we have a lot of extra setup. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ask. So there were a couple guys that came to my message them and said, yep, I'll see you Thursday at 1 o'clock. I'm like, perfect. So, and if what's worst they can say is no. So my advice is get help, ask for help, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, just ask for help. So Kyle, what about you, man?
Retire early.
Fair enough. Rock on.
man, short and sweet. Dang.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, I that is actually a good point though. Adding a little flavor to that, there is, if you have the ability to do so, retiring early doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, and you can definitely put your mind to do other things in life. It doesn't mean that because you're quote unquote retiring doesn't mean you're done working, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always other things to be done out there. You choose what you're going to do. So whether or not that's actually truly retiring early, like hey, I made enough money, I don't need any more. I can live off what I got, or if you're like, hey, I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm comfortable and I'm going to quote unquote retire from my day job and I'm going to do something for me, right? That's still constructive, which literally is what Kyle does.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is stuff that's constructive.
Mhm.
Real quick, I want to say a special congratulations to Mr. Tyler on this podcast and his recent engagement.
Yay.
Sir,
Golf
I'm
clap.
very happy for you,
I
and
appreciate it.
I will appreciate the invite to stop out and celebrate it with you and your new fiance after the fact. It was good to spend that with you, and man, big congratulations. How you feeling?
It's been awesome, man. I I think it's finally starting to hit me, because I've been traveling so much as well, and work's been so busy. And now we're really getting started on the wedding prep. So now it's starting to really hit me. Her friends, we actually took a trip down to visit her close friends, and they threw us an engagement party as well. So that was very kind of them. I think after that, after I saw the big wedding planner, that's when it hit me. I was like, oh yeah. All right, let's do this.
Bonus dad advice for this episode. For all you men out there, find a good woman.
My goodness, yes.
The value of a good woman cannot be overemphasized. I speak for all three of us on this podcast. I believe we've all three of us have found great women, and I respect and appreciate all three of them. Obviously, I love my wife more than your guys' ladies, but they all have valuable skill sets. They all treat us extremely well, and I hope that, and I think we all do a really good job of treating them well as well. So again, in a world that's very hard to find a good woman sometimes, especially based on a specific worldview. So good luck, dudes that are still single. I believe in you.
Exactly. It's hard, but it's definitely worth it. But cool.
Awesome. With that, we'll go ahead and you'll have another. We're going to close this episode out. Episode 2, we'll have in, if we can, I almost want to release these like back-to-back weeks, Tyler. We'll see if we can make it happen. We got busy schedules going on, but I'm going to try to get this out potentially next week for the next episode, and we'll cover Pistol Shotgun Day. And then because this is a big event, I don't want to necessarily spend a ton of time like really going over match, but I do want to cover, and we're actually going to cover in the third podcast, is how to add and create flavor to a match that really takes your match experience that you can give people that are attending your match and really elevate it to the point where it is legendary. Which I will say that this match was probably Badger was really good. So it's like this match and Badger were like the best 2 matches of this year. Probably the best 2 matches I've ever shot, just because of the experiences at both of them. And we'll kind of dip into definitely Zombie coming up and why this match was so good. And then we'll talk, maybe compare that a little bit with Badger, and why that match was also really good. With that, Tyler, you want to close this out officially and do all the sponsor and click and like and poke and stuff thing?
For sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to another exciting episode of Acceptable Accuracy. John, Blue Force Gear, a bunch of other people that we mentioned, Geisley, Zombie Invitational, Echo Valley, any one of you sponsor us. That would be amazing. Magpul.
I love that we keep this joke going.
100%. It's the best joke. I think it started in episode 1, and we are keeping this running joke until someone actually sponsors us. Yeah. It's been awesome. So thank you so much, everyone. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to email us at podcast@acceptableaccuracy.com. Thank you. I couldn't remember if it was com or org. It's fun fact. But either way, thank you, everyone. Give us questions. We'd love to have another Q&A episode. I know people loved that. But thank you so much. And then thank you, Kyle, for joining us today. Once again, congratulations on winning the whole competition.
Thanks,
Phil, congratulations on beating me again at the Zombie Invitational. And then
spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, I think it was pretty obvious looking at the numbers. But either way, thank you, everyone. And we will see you guys